Just wanted to talk, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. It is Saturday, July 5th, and hopefully all of you still have all of your phalanges. I know a lot of people around the country play with fireworks, and it is not always advisable. Anyway, Yankees kick off Game 2 of their second Subway Series of the year with the Mets today. And let's just start here because this episode is all about Aaron Boone. We got a ton of calls about Aaron Boone. I'm just going to start with this. The Yankees don't fire managers mid-season anymore. That's not how they operate. Not since George Steinbrenner's prime, right? Right before his suspension in the late 80s or early 90s, whenever it was. He used to fire guys mid-season all the time. But really since Joe Torre took over, the Yankees don't switch managers a lot. They had Torre for a long time. They had Joe Girardi for about 10 years. And now Aaron Boone is in year 7. And look, their buzzwords that they like to put out there, stability, continuity, professionalism, all that stuff. That's why Boone is not going to go anywhere. But here's the problem. This is not a stable team right now. It's not a professional-looking team right now. And it doesn't feel like anybody's in control of the locker room, of the clubhouse. Boone looks like a guy who's just trying to get through the summer, right? And try to get to October. And then they'll get serious. He's not really managing right now. You know, I mean, you know how long Joe Torre managed the Yankees before they missed the playoffs? 12 years. And Boone's done it twice already. And now it's slipping again right in front of us. Right in front of us.
It's all right there in front of us.
You don't want to panic. Fine. Let's be calm. Let's be rational. Let's use history. Back in 2003, the Marlins were flailing. They made a change. Mid-season, they brought in Jack McKeon, who was in his 70s. Guy smoked cigars in the dugout and told players to just play the damn game. And you know what? They won the World Series. They beat the Yankees. Sometimes it is the manager. Sometimes it is. And sometimes a team needs someone who's not afraid to, trash a locker room, to, smash a TV. Sometimes they need a hard ass. Got a lot of rich people on this team. Got a lot of rich guys who are very comfortable. Maybe we need somebody who makes them a little bit uncomfortable. Joe Madden? I mean, he's quirky. He's won. He holds guys accountable. I don't know if you would call him a hard ass. Maybe. Brad Ausmus seems more reserved. He's organized. He's prepared. Maybe he could settle the room down. I don't know. Me, personally, I want Joe Girardi back. He got results. He called guys out. And they ran him out of town for being too intense. But maybe that's just what this roster needs a little bit right now. They need intensity. Because, as we mentioned, Boone is smiling in the dugout. He's saying we're elite, we're great, and things are clearly not elite or great right now. That is delusional. This team is 6-15 in their last 21 games. They don't need comfort. They need a jolt. They need to look in the mirror and realize they are not good enough right now. Boone's urgency needs to show up fast, or maybe someone else who is more urgent should be in there. Bobby says Boone's the opposite of Girardi. Everyone gets a trophy mindset. Joseph says Yankees need to stop resting players who are hitting very well until they are tired or fatigued. Stanton needs more reps, not resting every other 2 days. Raymond Vellon wants Don Mattingly. You know, Mattingly's never had a lot of success as a manager. And before we get to the voicemails, I just wanted to say this. I don't even know if there's such a thing as good manager versus bad manager at this level, right? I mean, there are guys who are successful. I'm sure there are bad managers. I'm sure there are guys who are just, smarter or whatever. But what I mean by that is sometimes you need the right manager. Do you know what I mean? It was like, you think about that 80s Olympic team, the hockey team, the Miracle hockey team. There's a line in that movie about it from Kurt Russell, who plays the coach, Herb Brooks, I believe his name was, where they were putting together this team that was going to go against a legendary, unbeatable Russian team. And he left a lot of the best players off the roster. And instead, he said, I'm not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right ones. Sometimes it's not a matter of best or worst. Sometimes it's a matter of the right fit, the right match. I'm not sure that Aaron Boone's laissez-faire kind of attitude is the perfect fit for this roster and this era and this division. The captain is not a fiery guy, right? He's a gentle giant. I think too much gentleness, too much comfort and fragility in the locker room could be a bad thing. I think you need a little bit of spice. You need a little bit of pepper in there, right? And maybe the manager spot is where to get it. Maybe you just need to bring in somebody with an edge. Maybe that's it. Somebody to push everyone. I love how Jazz gave the team a jolt of energy last year, and that energy is still there, right? But you need a different type of energy too. I mean, you need that Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, like killer instinct type of energy. And I don't know who on this team has that. I think about it. I mean, who has that? Maybe Giancarlo? But the problem with Giancarlo is that his body has failed him. And he's been out of the game all summer. He's not in a rhythm. Maybe he's coming back. He had a home run a couple of nights ago. I mean, who has that killer instinct? Maybe Carlos Rodon when he's on. Max Fried. But pitchers by the bulk of the team are not even really considered to be athletes, right? They're just almost window dressing. The pitchers and hitters a lot of times aren't friends or whatever. You need an everyday player, and a lot of times it's the catcher, right? That's Joe Girardi, Jorge Posada. Like a lot of times it's the catcher behind the plate, Jose Molina. That is the guy who's the driving force behind a team, and that's where having a young catcher who's still kind of coming into his own can kind of be difficult. And then you got a backup catcher who's kind of coming into his own, who's a young guy. Right? This team needs a veteran presence who's won, who understands how to win, who understands the game inside and out, but also has that killer instinct. I don't know who it is. Maybe they need to bring in Posada, right? But have you seen Posada's Instagram? All he does is hang around on the beach with his wife, who is top 10 most beautiful woman in the world, if you ask me. I wouldn't want to spend 6 months away from that. He's earned that. Let's get to some voicemails. All right. Start with this.
Yeah. Good morning, Derek. First of all, let me say I enjoy your podcast. It's therapy after, especially the last 5 games the Yankees have played. This team is situationally flawed, is fundamentally flawed. It was apparent at the beginning of the season. Cashman didn't address it. Now it's only going to get tougher because, as you say, everyone knows what the Yankees need, and they certainly won't help them. I don't know what's going to be the future for this team. This team may play in the playoffs, but they're not going to win anything. Not the way it's presently, the roster is presently constituted.
Appreciate the call. If the playoffs started today, I would not have faith in the Yankees to do very much. But, they're at their low point in the season. We do know that teams get hot and cold. I believe in hot and cold. I know the Yankees don't. I believe in it. I think they need to do something at the deadline to be a game changer, right? But the problem is you can't wait. The deadline is still almost a month away. If you continue to play like this for the next 3.5 weeks, you might be screwed. You might not get into the playoffs. And it's funny how, guys leave the team and do better. Gleyber Torres having a great year with the Tigers. So is Tommy Kahnle.
Hey, Derek. You know who I was thinking about would be pretty productive? Tommy Kahnle. That'd be pretty nice to have right now. But also, I wanted to get your opinion. I'm pretty sure David Robertson is still unsigned, to my knowledge. What do you think about if the Yankees pick him up mid-season and just see what he's got left in the tank? I know he's old, but 1-year deal, cheap, just another option.
I wanted to get David Robertson in the offseason. I was advocating for the Yankees to pick him up. I talked to Eric Kratz. He said that Robertson and Cashman don't like each other, basically. And so that's not going to happen. I don't remember the exact story. Something to do with playoff shares. But basically, I think it was David Robertson. And I don't want to misquote this. So I think David Robertson was in a disagreement with the team on how to award playoff shares and was vocal about it. And since then, not been on good terms with the Yankees. And I don't envision him coming back. But Tommy Kahnle, worth taking a look at. Mr. Changeup. Look at those numbers. He's having a great year for the really, really good Detroit Tigers right now. Nice job by Tommy Kahnle. Here's Craig.
Hi, this is Craig from South OZ again. Haven't really gotten any of my messages played, but I know you get a lot of them. Love your show.
Hey, congrats.
I just had heard that Boone said that he doesn't want any of his players to be phased by the stretch that they're going through. This guy is worthless as a manager. I'm sorry. We have other options. I believed in Volpe. How worse can it be if you sent him down for a stretch and bring up, Lombard Jr.? What's the problem with that?
He's not
Can't
ready.
do any worse than what.
He's not ready. I mean, if he was dominating in the minor leagues, I would say maybe. I'm going to look up his numbers real quick. But he's just not. Let's take a look. In the minors this year, he's hitting .243. Now, he does have a .389 on-base percentage and a .752 OPS. But you look about, since he's got promoted, he's hitting .205 in Double-A in 185 at-bats. That's hardly earning a promotion in the major leagues. He's just not ready. It is what it is. Appreciate the call. Here's Daniel.
Hey, Derek. It's Daniel. Big fan on the show, calling in for the first time. Just about the Mets game. I don't know what we're going to do. We need a new voice in that locker room. Boone has not gotten it done. We've given him 6 years now, 6 or 7 years. It's getting ridiculous with him. We need a new manager. We need some new players in the clubhouse. Volpe. I say trade him for some guys. It's getting ridiculous. But hey, thanks, Derek.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. You said it well. Voice in the locker room. That's what they need. They need a different voice. Here's a call about Ben
Guys,
Rice.
look, roll the dice. Put Ben at third base. He's played first base. He has soft hands. He knows the infield. You got nothing to lose, everything to gain. You get the bat. You need a third baseman. He can catch ground balls. He's steady. Play Ben at third base.
Ben Rice. I mean, it's hard to imagine him being a great third baseman right out of the gate. We're dealing with Jazz, who's a great athlete, and even he messes up all the time. But look at Ben Rice's StatCast numbers offensively. I mean, you got to find this guy more at bats. He should be in the lineup every day, or you should trade him. I think they're planning for him to be the first baseman next year, right? And they're looking at this as a year where we'll get him as many at bats as we can. But really, why waste his prime? He's 26 years old. This is a smart kid. This is a big kid. And he hits the ball as hard as anybody in the league almost. And he doesn't chase. And the launch angle is getting better, which means he's going to start hitting for more home runs. Because right now he's hitting too many line drives right at people. And he knows that. He knows that. You know what? Maybe Ben Rice should be the everyday catcher. But then you run into the problem of him wearing down offensively, possibly. But maybe Cal Raleigh has proved that wrong. Cal Raleigh's the catcher for the Mariners What's he got, 35 home runs? By the way, it's unbelievable that someone has more home runs than Aaron Judge in the American League this far into a season. That has not happened in a while. Cal Raleigh, by the way, 271, 35 home runs, 74 ribbies. Holy shnikes. Guy is just crushing the baseball. I don't know what the solution is with Ben Rice, but they got to find a way to get him in the lineup more. We got another call here. This is about Goldschmidt.
Yeah, hi, Derek. Before today, Goldschmidt started turning around. I'm surprised he came down hard on him. He was 4 for 10 against the Blue Jays, 2 doubles, and all 4 hits were against righties. And then, of course, Boone sat him down yesterday, and he had a tough day today. Anyway.
Yeah, I was tough on him. I'm going by a bigger sample size. So last, 35 games, he's hitting 205 with 3 home runs. In 35 games, 205 average with 3 home runs. That is hardly productive. I mean, maybe Ben Rice should be the first baseman now. But yeah, he is coming around. He hit the ball hard a few times against the Blue Jays. Maybe he's coming out of it. Quick word from our sponsor today, DraftKings, and then back we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got like 6 more voicemails, so I'll be back in about 60 seconds. Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game. All with DraftKings Sportsbook. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for a gambling problem. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Rosie wants Don Mattingly in the Yankees dugout. Donnie Baseball. I love Donnie Baseball. He's my all-time favorite player. Again, has not done great as a manager, but maybe he's the right fit. He knows how to handle New York. We got a call here about Boone.
Hey, Derek, it's Eddie. Just a couple of questions. One thing, it's getting really hard to watch these Aaron Boone interviews. It's like watching a guy get a call from his best friend's wife asking where her husband is. His answers are just all over the place. The Weaver interview today he sounded like he was still hurt. And we still got guys out of position like Chisholm and Dominguez. I feel Dominguez should be in center. But the real reason I'm calling is Anthony Volpe. He's getting really hard to hide in the lineup. They dropped him to the bottom hole today, and he basically did not produce. He has over 150 runners stranded, and it's not even the All-Star break. So since you know more about who we have in the minor league system, I know George Lombard is not ready. He's not going to be ready for another 2 years. Who do you think that we can bring in that can bat 222, 225 and have a decent glove? Or do we trade for someone?
Appreciate the call. So first, let me go to Volpe. Volpe in his last 35 games is hitting 186. Volpe is hitting 186 in his last 35 games. I want to say that again for emphasis. 35 games, 186. That's not much better than Oswald Peraza. Now, I still think Volpe's a better hitter than Peraza. But Volpe's clearly not a major league hitter at this point. They have figured him out. It's time to ditch the torpedo bat. And, I keep saying he needs to go back to the approach that he had last year. I don't know what the answer is. In terms of calling guys up from the minor leagues, I don't think that there's a solution that's ready for the Yankees. In terms of a trade, I don't know if there's anybody out there that you can get that the Yankees would prefer over Volpe. They're trying to let this kid learn on the job. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen with Volpe. We're going to suffer through this for 5 years, and he's going to hit 220, 230 for 5 years. And then his contract year is going to come around. He's going to hit 328 with 35 home runs, steal 30 bases, come in second in the MVP behind Aaron Judge, who's hitting his 700th home run that year. And then as a free agent, the Yankees are going to sign him to a $250 million contract, and he's going to go back to hitting 220. That's my prediction for the long-term Anthony Volpe project. There's another call about midseason swoon.
Hi, Derek. I watched the game today, and it's the midseason swoon that we've seen with the Yankees every year for quite a while now. And like you, like everybody, I'm tired of it. Something's got to change. Now.
That seems to be the consensus. There needs to be a change made.
Hey, man. Nice calling in again. Really having a hard time understanding what we're doing with prospects, right? Jason Dominguez is finally turning into the player that we want him to be. Catching fire these last couple of days. Amazing stuff, but still not enough to put us over with the bullpen. I think that we need to just give up on some of these prospects, you know? We have Oswald Peraza, who's sitting on the bench, who if I'm being completely honest, I can't remember the last time I saw him touch the field. If I go look it up right now, I bet that the last time he was on the field was at least a couple of days ago. Regardless of that fact, though, we're in a situation where the Yankees continuously have these prospects that they tout extremely highly, and then after the fact, it ends up becoming this big thing where they're nowhere what we touted them to be, and we didn't trade them while they had any kind of prospect value. Anthony Volpe needs to be sent down. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, the Yankees have had issues for years developing players. I mean, I will say this, though. Looking at Dominguez's stats and his StatCast numbers while you were on the call, they're looking pretty good. So I just hope that they don't screw him up, right? I mean, it took a Grisham injury for them to get him in the lineup with more regularity, and he has picked up right where he left off when Boone tried to shut down his hot bat, you know, after the I guess it was, KC, where he got hot, and then he started sitting. And, you know, obviously he's struggled a little bit from the right side, and that drags down his numbers. And defensively, he's in the 7th percentile, and a lot of that probably goes towards the play he made yesterday, dragging it down. He was in the 11th percentile a few days ago. But base running, I mean, look at that, 93rd percentile, one of the best base runners in baseball. And 71st percentile now in batting run value. Hard hit percentage is way up there. Bat speed, walk percentage, sprint speed. I mean, 28.8 feet per second. I mean, this kid is the real deal. Just don't screw him up. Now, Volpe, we just talked about. Tons of problems here with developing prospects. Luis Gil, I think, has gone the other way. He's done well, but he got hurt. So, you know, not every prospect is going to pan out. You just try and get the most out of the ones that you can. We'll be back after the game this evening. I'm going to go to the pool for a little bit. Reminder to follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms. Check out DraftKings. The promo is in the description. It is FOUL. And once again, thanks for watching. Let's hope the Yankees get off the mat today and finally pick up their first win in July. If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.